My parents spent $40,000 on my brother's wedding but told me they couldn't help with my medical bills. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 19, collapsed during a shift at the restaurant where I was working my way through community college. Woke up in the ICU with my blood sugar over 600. The doctor said I was lucky to be alive. Insurance covered most of it, but I still owed $8,000 for the initial hospital stay, insulin pump, and monitoring equipment. I'd been managing it for 3 months when the bills started piling up. Called my parents one Sunday afternoon, tried to keep my voice steady, asked if they could loan me anything. Even $2,000 would help. Mom went quiet for a few seconds, then said money was tight right now. Dad got on speakerphone, said I needed to learn financial responsibility, that I was 19 and needed to figure things out like an adult. He reminded me that he'd paid his own way through everything at my age. I thanked them anyway. Hung up feeling like I'd asked for something unreasonable. 2 months later, my brother announced his engagement at Sunday dinner. He'd been dating Rachel for 8 months. Mom started crying happy tears. Dad opened champagne. Within a week, suddenly money wasn't tight anymore. They wrote a check for the venue at this golf club an hour outside the city, $15,000. Paid for an open bar with top shelf everything, another $6,000. Flew in relatives from across the country, put them up in hotels, rented luxury cars for the wedding party so everyone could arrive in style. My brother kept texting me updates. Dad's covering the photographer. Mom's paying for Rachel's dress alterations. They're going all out. I kept quiet, showed up to every planning meeting, smiled for photos, pretended the math wasn't eating me alive. At the reception, there were ice sculptures and a live band, filet mignon for 200 guests, a dessert table that looked like it belonged in a magazine. Dad gave this long speech during dinner about how proud he was, how my brother had always been destined for greatness, how they'd sacrifice anything to support their successful son. His voice cracked with emotion. Everyone applauded. I left early, told them my blood sugar was acting up and I wasn't feeling well. Nobody followed me out. 3 weeks later, I got a collections notice in the mail. My medical debt had been sold to a third party. They were threatening legal action, wage garnishment. I called Mom panicking, hands shaking. She listened quietly, then said she'd pray for me, that God would provide. That night, scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep, my brother posted vacation photos from his honeymoon in Bali. Private villa, infinity pool, 2-week trip, all expenses paid by our parents as a wedding gift. The caption read, "Blessed beyond measure." I did the math in my head. Between the wedding, the honeymoon, the gifts, they'd spent over $40,000 on my brother in 6 months. I needed $8,000 to avoid financial ruin. I started picking up every extra shift the restaurant offered, sold my gaming console, my bike, my laptop, started eating 1 meal a day to save money, stopped taking the insulin I needed sometimes because the copays were killing me. 6 months later, I'd paid off the debt myself, every cent. My A1C was terrible from rationing insulin, but the collections calls stopped, didn't tell anyone, didn't post about it, just kept working and existing. Then last week, Mom called while I was walking home from my second job. "Your brother and his wife are expecting. We're so excited. We're throwing them a baby shower next month. Can you contribute to the gift registry?" Her voice was light, happy. I stopped walking, asked how much they were spending. She laughed. "Oh, you know us. We've already bought the crib, the changing table, and one of those fancy strollers. About $3,000 so far, but it's our first grandchild. We want to do it right." I hung up without saying goodbye. Then I opened the family group chat, the one with my parents, my brother, Rachel, and a few aunts and uncles. Typed out one message. Just wanted everyone to know I paid off my medical debt, all $8,000, by myself, while working 2 jobs and rationing insulin. Thanks for asking how I was doing. My brother replied first within minutes. "Dude, why are you making this weird? It's not a competition." Mom called me directly, said I was being ungrateful, that they'd raised me better than this. Dad sent a text, "Stop being dramatic. Nobody owes you anything." So I posted the collections notices on Facebook, every single page, tagged everyone who'd been at my brother's $40,000 wedding. The comments came fast. Relatives I hadn't heard from in years suddenly had opinions about my character. My aunt said parents don't owe their kids anything after 18. My uncle said medical debt is just part of being an adult in America. My brother's friends called me jealous. Then my grandmother commented. She posted bank statements showing she'd given my parents $25,000 2 years ago, specifically marked for both grandchildren's future needs. Mom deleted her Facebook that night.